So Shh is donating to see if this actually works. Shizuke has really shrunk the name quite a bit over the course of this cast. $14 says this actually works. Go Harstem. All right, there's a lot playing against Harstem. There's the bracket curse we've referred to for years on BaseTradeTV. It has consistently proven to be a real thing. On top of the fact that he did just take a pretty nasty loss versus Bly. Hopefully feeling good in the matchup. We'll see how he does. In the top left side, he's playing for Invasion Esports. It's the red Protoss Harstem.
The bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is Liquid TLO.
So, questions were asked about best of fives in chat between games. Do players prefer this? Do they not? It's hard to say because, I mean, to generalize players like versus dislike, it is taking into the counts of like 80 plus players who played in qualifiers, 32 in the group, and etc. I can say from last season's feedback, though, majority of people preferred the best of fives. They thought it was a better environment to play in, better chances for comebacks, and all that good stuff. And I mean, as organizers, I really liked it too. The only players we actually got complaints from, I'm not going to name because it's petty, but like they didn't even try to compete. They played like one qualifier and lost like right away, and then they're just complaining that there's too many games to play. So maybe there's an issue where players don't like the best of fives and they're being quiet about it. But from what we heard vocalized, people like best of fives. I like best of fives, and I think we've gotten some really great series so far because of them.
Yep.
I mean, that ace match just now was great. That would have been over before it even got a chance to begin.
Yes, it would have. I kind of forgot about the curse aspect, though, that you just brought up, and how reliable that has been in our tournaments. So I am suddenly really worried.
Yeah, for those who don't know what the curse is, by the way, typically when a rematch happens in these group stages, and this isn't just our tournaments, this is DreamHack, this is everywhere, the player who lost the first time around tends to win the second time around, even if it was 3-0 or something really one-sided. I would love for Harstem to get out of the group because I'm like already Kriegasming a little bit about the potential of Harstem being in that final group with Mana and Bly. But at the same time, it would be great for TLO, who hasn't seen a lot of results in a lot of our tournaments, and to get further in this would be even better. But I do want to remind everybody that getting second place in the group, this is the finals match for the TING Open European Group number 1. But getting second place in the group doesn't send you to the round of 16 like normal. It sends you to one more best of 5 that will determine whether you go to the round of 16 or not.
Yeah, so it's not even over yet. That's kind of disappointing, but to get closer and closer, of course, is the goal. Yeah. And it is only one more best of 5, not an entire other group after this.
By the way, speaking of that, we had originally planned to have those best of 5s play out before Homestory Cup, but as it turns out, scheduling's a little bit tight, and if we did it on the 21st, some players wouldn't be able to play because they'd already be traveling to Homestory Cup. So we'll have to do that after Homestory Cup is finished. But that being said, still, I'm pretty stoked for all the games to remain. I'm really stoked for this series, and we'll see if Harstem can actually take it, or if TLO ends up victorious. I think there's like some pluses to be said. Like TLO has been resting on deck, maybe playing ladder games. I don't know. He's not been stressed out, is my point, though, for the last hour or so. Harstem certainly was fighting against Bly. He's a tough player to play against. Thank you, by the way, Papa Mitch, for the 25-month resub.
Yeah.
I wonder if people could tell which of our hands are clapping just now. Was that you or was that me?
We should let the chat decide.
It's like the mystery vote. Winner gets nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Winner gets nothing. This is interesting. TLO going for the forward third. No, not the Bailey Nest. The forward third.
I wasn't sure about the Bailey Nest, but go on.
I mean, that's it's interesting. It goes for the forward third. It actually takes a very quick fourth behind it, though, which is also like, I mean, that's also pretty greedy, but makes a lot of sense. Seems to be going towards that direction.
Here's what I like about this, right? We found this harder to secure when we saw it earlier today on the same map. And TLO gets to mine more off of it now later. Might be able to abandon it if it gets killed and take this base more comfortably, knowing you already got like 1,000, 2,000 minerals from this base. Same time, we may want to just early get it to super solidify his position, but at any rate, we'll see how this plays out. Lots of Banelings morphing in, and Harstem, unfortunately, is going to get surrounded with these Adepts, so he scouts this, he loses a couple key units for the defense, but there's not really here anything to Baneling bust, as funny as that is. Maybe takes out the pylon. I mean,
nothing here yet.
Remove it immediately.
The pickup War Prism, once again, like, totally on point for Harstem. picks up those adepts, make sure the banelings don't get their maximum impact done. And that really was kind of an odd attack. A couple of lings late to the party just run by till they didn't come. It's awkward social penguin. Actually, they go back in.
By the way, 27,000 on TLO, 24,000 on Harstem. Very high
close.
stakes.
Huh. Well, the third base is not going to go down, it looks like. TLO is going for... Oh, he's changing things up. I mean, he was going for +1 missile, still going for Baneling, sure, but actually focusing more on those Hydras. This game going for double upgraded Lings, with a couple of drops getting set up here.
I think
Harstem might see that with his War Prism.
I think this might just end up being for Banelings, all things considered. He could drop 16 Lings into the main. I feel like Banelings on top of the army would be far more effective when sentries are in play, but we'll see if that ends up being his priority, because he really could just harass with Lings.
Mm-hmm. Well, Harstem's getting set up. Gateway's coming down. Immortal's on the way. He's got that sentry count. Has he scouted the... well, I mean, he saw the Baneling attack into him, so doesn't really need to scout the Baneling nest. I think what's going to be the next step is scouting the upgrades, though. Like, if it's just going to be Banelings and Lings, you want to know that. You want to know that they might be attacking you very soon, as opposed to just predicting they're going to go for Hydralisk and, getting prepared for that. So... I mean, I'm thinking back to when Snoot just made like 40 Banelings and rolled over the Protoss. Maybe that's where TLO's going.
We got a $2 donation from S, and they say, "Fuck the curse. Now I'm broke. Go Harstem."
Yeah, $2.
I love how that really was like random numbers that dwindled down to whatever was left. That's awesome. Okay, so we do have Lings in here. Again, considering Banelings might be a better option to drop on top of the army, but right now TLO's not looking for the army fight. He's looking to harass, and I think that's the wrong idea set for the time being. Trying Harstem home with 18 Lings, very unlikely. Here's the Baneling drops who I was looking for, though, so never mind. Didn't realize 2 more Overlords have been made. Clumps up on these units. Banelings get some pretty good hits. Don't remove all the sentries, but take out an admirable amount of adepts. Stalkers be warped in now. Banelings get wasted. Oh, God. That's like that GTA wasted, I mean. Sorry. G2A. Sponsorship, right?
I was gonna say.
These Lings coming to the main. There's going to be overcharges to stop them. Harstem takes such a definitive fight on the right side. He should be able to hold the main. This looks really great for Harstem.
I like the guesses about the hand clapping, by the way. Most people got that thing. Most. Okay, so good folks are on the 1 Overlord. Lings still do get out, but it is more about this push right here, right now.
These force fields are so
brutal.
brutal.
Go around.
Well, then they hit the heart of the warpins. That ends up going pretty damn good at the last second. But still 41 supply. Just rewarps in the new units that got canceled. And for Harstem, no more pressure back at home. He's safely mining on 3 bases. He's looking to push to win.
Almost got that War Prism. That would have been so much... oh, well, GG. Harstem takes him #1.
Yeah, great first game. Of course, still a little bit daunting for TLO, who did lose earlier today. He's not only got the curse on his side, but he's also now fighting against the Shizik curse. Curse. All right, we'll hop into this game. We'll hold off the ad break for now. Let's get into it ASAP. What's the map?
Arena.
Awesome. So just again, for the folks that have joined us a little bit later in the cast that weren't around earlier when we talked about it, we got a new goal from TING. First season, the plan was if we got 40 people signed up and using TING, or 40 people using the credit in the store, buying phones or whatever, then we would have got a season 2 of TING. Right now, we got the new goal. They're keeping it exactly the same. 40 is the goal. If we get 40 people signed up and trying a month of TING, 40 people using the store, whatever mix of the two, we'll be able to get a season 3. And I think a full year of TING would be awesome. So bttv.ting.com, claim that credit, buy something in the store, try TING for what is almost free, unless you're using crazy amounts of data. There's no way use $25 worth, and help us get towards a season 3. That being said, go to the intro. See you guys soon. So this is interesting, and where I'm absolutely going to create rumors where they aren't at all necessary. XMG just retweeted Bly's Baneling comment on Twitter.
What does it mean?
Smells like a new sponsor to me.
Oh my god.
XMG pulled out a Home Story Cup and esports. I don't think it's anything, but cool to see that love for Bly. But anyways, spotting the upper left, an equally good Zerg playing here in the grand finals of the group. It's going to be the blue TLO.
The bottom left, Al's the red Protoss. He is Harstem.
Okay. So there's A lot of, I think, pressure on TLO. But Harstem, I'm sure he feels great after that first game. You know, taking that loss versus Bly, I was legit worried it would affect him. Harstem's got a really good head on his shoulders, and he's not the type of guy to get super tilted from a loss. But I was worried. Like, you're playing a rough series against a rough player, then you go play TLO, who's no joke afterwards. You got to come into this with 100% mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Well, that first game probably really helped increase his confidence, even if it was on the low point after that Bly loss, as that was pretty strong. It once again was not a situation that was like a total, like, you know, just he rolled over TLO, made TLO look like a silver player, but it was a very confident, strong Protoss, just pushing in when he think he could and winning. So
strong, confident Protoss who don't need no man.
He don't need no Colossus or Disruptor.
He don't need no Rohana. God, I hated Rohana. She's so annoying in the campaign. No, guys, I'm cool. I got it under control. Amon's not going to take control of me. Don't worry.
That was the stupidest
like,
thing.
Seconds later, Amon takes control of her. Like, come on, man.
I feel like they made the story right, and they were like, you know, none of these choices make sense. Like, how are we going to get, you know, Amon to, like, actually, like, talk to them, right? And someone's like, just make someone who wants to. And they made her as, like, just for a plot point. Like, she's going to be dumb as shit. Stubborn.
You know what? She could have at least. She could have at least been like a love interest for like characters or something. I don't know. Like, give it some other element than just simply annoying, useless dead weight.
I don't know about a love interest, but I think that they could have played up her like I mean, she was an important character in the Protoss lore in that she held all of their thoughts, you know, or history or whatever. But instead, it was less about like, I'm a cool being and I have the history of the Protoss, and it was like, I'm better than you, but also I make terrible decisions in life, so
Alright, so Ling's almost get a kill on the pond. This forces Harstem back home. We did get 2 donations coming in though, so first off, thank you to R1_FR, $3, and says, Seb, unmute you. Go Harstem. And then King Sejong donates $5 and says, y'all like talking shit about my station? What would be the features for King Rifkin station? What would that look like, bruh? I don't remember.
Depends. Does Rifkin get to make it?
Yeah, is someone else making this in like a sarcastic, satirical way of me? Because if so, then it just looks like a stupid count from Sesame Street or something.
I would just make Catalina.
God damn it. You're a horrible person.
I mean, it'd be amazing.
Thank you both. So the Lings got perhaps a little bit more damage than Harstem expected. Really should have been nothing, but Bly is super dedicated to this. Well, I did go for a natural base. Let's keep in mind, drone count fell, not because Harstem got kills, because we stopped producing them. And he's really hoping this all-in would work. But for TLO, excuse me, I think I said Bly a moment ago, but TLO, he's hitting at this really perfect time. Harstem didn't have the Immortal out. He had no army supply to speak of. I mean, that looked really abrupt and silly, but there's no way that Immortal finished. That pylon was going to die. In fact, if we go back to game, I can't click it. I was going to say, that pylon was low from earlier, too.
Those are the games that I feel a little bad about talking off topic.
I know, because you didn't expect it to go so poorly, but he did get caught off guard by it, so it is what it is, and ties up the series now 1-1. We're going to go to a small break, and when we return, we'll use Game 3. What's the map going to be before we go?
Frost.
All right, we'll see you guys on Frost in 2 minutes. All right, folks, we're just going to load right back into the game. Already coming up. It's tied up now 1-1 in this best-of-5 finals for the group. This is, of course, a tournament brought to you guys by TING, bttv.ting.com. Laying it on thick because we want you to go to the website, claim that $25 in credit, and abuse their deals. But spawning here on the bottom left side is going to be the Red Zerg player. Team Liquid's TLO.
The top left as the Blue Protoss, he is Harstem. TLO. TLO? Oh, what are you doing, TLO? Oh, is this Bly? Hey.
Maybe. We'll see. This is a 4-player spawn map, so you're going to be taking a gamble doing something like this. But Harstem's going to also get lucky on his gamble with a scout and see this coming right away.
This is so lucky. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think you do it on a map like this, you're really hoping they scout you last and that they're not diagonal.
Yeah, I mean,
diagonal would probably work.
It's unfortunate. Steel kind of has to commit to this. You don't really. So, well, you know what? I guess I'll throw the hatchery down now and be perfectly dandy and hope that he overreacted. Like, it's not going to go well. He's going to leave the probe over here to check, make sure that doesn't happen as well. The full wall off coming from Harstem looks to be okay. He's not going for the faster Nexus. I like that he's looking to wall this off, though, because, well, you can hope that the Nexus finishes, and maybe you get a little bit ahead, greed here and there. You want to make sure that you don't lose to something silly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe he could have gotten away with a Nexus and then Cybernex Core, but it is that little bit of like, why risk it? I know he's doing something that's more dedicated than what I would be doing, so sorry. Yeah, hatchery does start. There's only 2 Lings. TLO is kind of just like, oh, I guess it was scouted. Let's not really dedicate too much into it initially.
Yeah, and I've evidently called TLO Bly a couple times. Sorry, guys. I don't know where my head's at today. Like I said, it's a little bit longer than average for a cast, but that's not the problem. Just scrambled eggs up there.
Me too, though. Maybe it's the, when I was solo casting, I opened the window because it was too cold in my room and I wanted the heat in.
This already sounds like this is going to be such a stupid reason to go on.
And it smelled really weird. It smelled like chemicals. So I think it was because they just planted fresh mulch or whatever around our house. But that usually doesn't smell like chemicals. So I was like, guys, if I die, if I pass out, we know why. Maybe that reached you too, man.
Yeah, that just wafted over here from the East Coast.
Right over to Canada, West Coast.
Didn't disperse at all, just like one concentrated clump.
Thing about people getting us confused about which nationality we are is that we're not just different like countries, we're different sides of a continent.
And that's why you guys will never be able to ship Rifkin and Zombie Grub.
It'd be a lot of money to ship us. Like at least
I'd go first class. Okay, so TLO gonna do some link drops towards the main. This is something where Harstem's got the pylon coming down. It'll hit just at a sweet timing. The Adepts could come up here instead of transferring around, but if you transfer this out to Scout, it'll be a little bit awkward as, there we go, now coming in. Mothership Core will be able to pop that overcharge right away. Probes just need to be stacked, pulled, and kept alive for a few more seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, not a big deal whatsoever. 1, 2 probe, there we go, 3 probes. Down.
I really like they didn't immediately pop that overcharge out of panic, but this is still TLO getting some surprising damage done, as the Adepts have to try and keep up with this, which frankly is hard to do.
Yep. Well, it's gone up to 5 now. The Lings are very low on health, but they could have escaped. They go back in the main base, actually. Another probe pool will take mining off, or puts an overcharge. Okay, or that, yeah. TLO, has he made up for the earlier pool?
I'd say yeah. I mean, he's on 3 bases. He's on a decent economy, and Harstem didn't overreact either by going too much army. So there's no imminent counterattack, and he saw that with the Lings. There's nothing where, oh man, suddenly there's 7 gateways down. Like, no, Harstem's just playing pretty normal.
I think he delayed Harstem's build a tiniest bit as well. The Robo and the gateways feel a little bit later for what he's usually been doing when he gets this Adept upgrade. That's why I canceled this time, but very like small things, and I think the point is never to like hit really fast and hard with this harassment. It is just to have the Warp Prism alive in general, because it's not a 7 gate or what have you. Atilo's not done yet. First he's going to clean up these Adepts, and then he was probably going to make sure that Harstem doesn't get a free 3rd base, at least 1 cancel, or just straight up like denying it. Because you got Lings, and you know that he's still having a little bit of trouble. Why not try?
Well, respect goes to the fact that TLO was able to recover from a terrible opening, but it's hardly the game over just yet. Of course, breaking this with Lings is going to be impossible. I love that he brought a Stalker over here to try and ward off the Overlord. So free drops at least won't be possible. You might get 1 or 2 Lings off before it gets picked off, but ooh, the Banelings I like quite a bit. Did he go for Overlord speed yet? He did. Ooh. Ooh, these Adepts can get surrounded in the worst way possible. Looks like they will go down. 1 Baneling gets canceled for it, but Ling's going to come to the main. Looks like without the Adepts to threaten him, it's only 1 Stalker, and that Stalker can't deal with the Lings not too easily. Attack on the front wall off. Not going to be able to bust through with the Baneling, but he's got the overcharges ready to go. Stalker is going to go down. Picks up the Lings and the Overlord right away.
Not much to do there. But I don't think he really had to do very much. Just make sure the 3rd base isn't going as easy as possible, and then that's still pretty good. But I said it wasn't 7 gateways. It became 7 gateways.
Yeah.
So now it's less about like making sure the 3rd doesn't come down and more like realizing a 3rd is not even attempted to be put down, and you might be in trouble. So Banelings are now on the way. That should be the last drone CLO makes.
These will be nice drops on top of the Adepts. Skabloosh.
Boom.
Picks him with a Warp Prism. I was going to say, though, I don't think TLO got deep enough in to confirm. Yeah, he didn't actually see the extra gateways in the back. So despite his best attacks, now he knows. Yeah, like he sees that warp in and then, oh, that's quite a few adepts. But even that being said, this is not quite the overwhelming amount yet. This is something where if he groups up for a second, that Overlord's going to drop banelings on top of him. I think he knows that as well, so he's trying to stay somewhat split. But if he splits too much, it makes it easy for the Lings to surround, so splitting up in 3 different directions. Overlord Clump looking for those hits. Where do you put him? Nowhere is really that great. He's going to...
He tried to spread his warp-ins as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually really clever from Harstem. This is
really well executed.
This is starting to snowball. There's a couple more banelings left. There's got to be another good split.
It's not quite there yet, but you're right. This is getting to that point where it's getting scary. Harstem's next warping comes off cooldown in just a second. Ooh, pick up on those banelings was really sweet. But even then, really cool. The spine crawlers actually won't serve the defense they normally do because you can just transfer past them and away from them. So the adept number is getting, frankly, out of hand. He's going to focus down the banelings, make sure there's no more troubles over here. Warp Prism's still alive with all the queens going down. There's not really anything to threaten it either.
It's still so close to being like. I mean, the banelings still have to get those really good hits, and they still can. So, but well,
this is what I really love about the Overlord aspect of this, right? Like, this is something where there's not going to be a Stalker warped in. There's no anti-air, but there's so many adepts that, despite this really cool, clever tactic, and as long as Harstem keeps splitting, as long as he doesn't A move and clump, like, TLO's never going to get that magic hit that cleans this up. I guarantee you, 90% of the player base dies to what TLO's done for the defense. But TLO is finding Harstem a little bit too good at this.
Yeah, exactly.
He's up the drones to save him!
It's something that Terran's here to do, and we actually have it all the time. But it's... I didn't realize that was hilarious.
Because he doesn't take it for granted. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. He is losing. The adept splits have just been too good. At no point was there an overwhelming amount of damage.
Oh, it does it again!
This is pretty good. Harstem is going to win with this adept rush, pretty sure. TLO's trying to get to Aspire to have like that instant, like, okay, I can finally clean this up with nothing to be said about it, but
Stargate's coming down behind this, so it'll be possible to get Phoenixes relatively easy. Queens are going to be burst down by these adept shots. More banelings coming. He's got to do the splits. Dance! It's hiking all over again!
More gymnastics. But that split was pretty good. It was decent enough. I mean, there's just so many adepts now. The Spire is so close to being done, but nothing I should make
This was so close, too. Like, I cannot begin to express how close TLO had that on lockdown, but Harstem barely tips it over. Takes a 2-1 lead now in the finals. Nicely done by him.
That'll be Invader next, then. Game number 4.
All right, get cue up the intro. Play that one of the last ads today. We'll see you guys soon. All right, a little bit of a hang up on the load screen, but that's okay. This is a best of 5 because some folks were asking. All of the matches for all of the TING groups are going to be best of 5, so don't expect anything less. We got big finals, big semifinals, but a hell of a lot of best of 5s. It is, of course, his last life. Spawning in the upper left. We'll see if he can bring it back, tie it up maybe. It is Invader. And in the upper left, we've got Team Liquid's TLO.
In the bottom left, as the TL Protoss, he is Harstem.
All right, Harstem has been playing pretty solid. I got to give it to him. Even in the game he lost in this series, it wasn't terrible. Timing's really, I think, on Arena were unfair. But other maps, I don't think he would have been caught so badly with the timing. Invader's still pretty short rush distance, though, with the spawns they got. And once again, he will luck out on the scouting. Like, Harstem is... You couldn't even stream cheat. There's a delay on. Like, he's just so lucky and so good with these scouts. Like,
yeah, it was quite fortunate, and it's not the reason that TLO, it's not the reason that TLO lost, but just that I think initially people saw those banelings against adepts and they were like, this is great, this is amazing, like just instantly kill the adepts, it sounds so perfect, don't have to deal with all their shade crap and whatnot. But Protoss has learned to split, and I don't even know if it's a response anymore, to be honest. Like, we've seen so many games now, definitely over a dozen, by different Zergs who go for the baneling defense against an adept's attack or all in, and the Protosses have split well enough, or they've shaded well enough, and the Zergs still die, even for being well prepared and well scouted. So, I might even go as far to say I hope that it just falls off as the defense. Like, it's not working anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. So, cancel. Whoever cancels an egg. I guess TLO does, because Didn't need the Overlord.
Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't? Oh no, because the hatchery's gonna finish up by then. Yeah.
Still, it's just weird because you're like an egg cancel. What? But okay, as the hatcheries finish up, they do provide a little more supply nowadays than they used to. Like, was it in Brood War? It used to be like what, one? Was it just one supply they provided?
I thought it was the same as StarCraft 2, which was 2.
Well, now it's a lot more because, of course, the
well, yeah, now
the
it's
worker.
a lot more. Yeah, which is kind of, I guess it's like a buff, like a hidden buff. I think people like talked about it for like a second when they realized the problem.
If you're on 5 bases, you saved 1 Overlord. Nice.
Hey. It did change up a little bit, I think, the timing between the natural and the third on a lot of builds, though, because there's 2 different ways to do it, Overlord first or not. But anyway, it is just an interesting, like, very small little buff. 2 Adepts run across the map, forces TLO to make a couple of lings. Not the biggest deal, something that is very, Zerg are very used to defending against. But sometimes this can get, like, 4 drone kills, and sometimes they'll get 0.
Yeah. This is, we've actually seen that today, too, through 2 or 3 different PvZs. Like, sometimes these get 4 to 5 kills, which is kind of spot on. Sometimes they get nothing. 2's not bad to start. Trade a couple links on top of that. It looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's just kind of kites away, hoping the transfer will kick in. Please! Kala!
Transfer's 1. Yeah, just there you go.
Kala, come on. No, okay, sorry, let's go too far. Robo actually had a Harstem, not a Stargate, interestingly enough.
And not a Twilight Council. Seems to be both, those are both of his openers.
I'm less about the Twilight Council and a lot more about whether it's a Stargate or a Robo. I like the Robo because I think a Warp Prism's gonna just add so much more to what you can do, but also gets you kickstarted on Immortals if you really would like. I mean, he scouted the 3rd base, I believe. I'm hoping he did. Yeah, he knew about it. So, no necessity to rush into Immortals.
Well, there's the Warp Prism. Just needs a couple of gateways now. I guess the question is, like, how many gateways? It'd be really interesting to see a gateway all-in that is not with Resident Enclaves, because that would be like Wings of Liberty 7 gate, just bare bones. They'd probably still warp at Adepts, just wouldn't have Resident Enclaves.
I feel like if you're gonna do 4 Adepts in a Warp Prism, and you don't actually warp in more, but you're using those simply for pickup and drop harass, you can get away with the Resident Enclaves. But if you're committing to anything, you will need that upgrade.
Very quick Immortal. It's an interesting opener. I wonder what timing it's just going to try and hit here. Now, TLO, he scouted all of this, and I can assure you that he knows what's up, and he's going to try and get to a lair. And what I'm guessing is going to be a Hydralisk Den, just because it's what most people are getting with a lair. I don't think he is quite 100% certain he can get away with a Spire. Although with Harstem's 3rd going down, he might be able to.
So, chat tried to type TLO out, and end up as TLO.
Tilopt.
Tilopt. Go Tilopt. You can do it. Alright, so this is where, again, you just pick up and drop the Adepts. Shouldn't be too bad. Only 1 Queen's not going to be too scary. A couple drones die. Really, nothing scary for TLO yet. And behind this, Harstem is going to secure his 3rd. And I guess hoping that this would have kept all the lings at home, it unfortunately does not. 1 overcharge will certainly do a lot of work, but 2 are better than 1. If that pylon finishes up, then I don't think TLO can get a cancel on the base. But he gets here just before the pylon's finished. Overcharge does go off, sends the lings back, and looks like this will actually get a chance to finish up.
I am looking more and more towards that Spire. So I think, like, you don't see the 3rd base. It's actually really scary to go for a Spire super quick, but you see the 3rd base, and you've been scouting the main and natural, and you don't see, like, 7 gateways, so you think you actually think it is a 3rd base. Spire will probably be fine, but what's funny is that, I mean, it's actually the case that Harstem is going for a lot of gateways, and I don't think the Overlord went back in to scout that. It just saw what it did and went to the 3rd, and now this is actually really wrong scouting, but I don't know if it's going to really affect it that much. Like, Harstem is now probing up, and his gateways are finishing, but only at the same time the Spire is finishing, so if Harstem plans on attacking, even with a Mothership recall available, that's where the mutas snipe the Mothership recall, and you're just dead.
Well, they might just go around the army. I mean, you got to consider most of these attacks have minimal anti-air. Well, Harstem's got a couple of Stalkers and Sentries. Mutas can still do work around this. Biggest aspect being picking up that Warp Prism, of course. But if Harstem's got Star Sense, man, he warps in more Stalkers and more Sentries. He doesn't, though, so it's Adepts, and this is going to be a little bit rough. I think the Stalkers wouldn't be a bad call anyways, just due to the amount of Banelings that we've seen consistently so far. But TLO with this Muta trap, I guess we'll call it, almost baits Harstem in the wrong composition. Now the Mutas are revealed. There we go. There's the
Ooh.
soccer warp-ins. New ones coming to the front line. They're going to have some force fields go down, hopefully, and keep the Banelings from touching anything. This allows the army to just focus on the mutas. They get fried alive. Sentries are focused firing with that Guardian Shield, nicely reducing a lot of damage, and these mutas just don't get their damage done. Even with the Banelings hitting the core and the heart of this army, Harstem is snowballing out of proportions and looks like TLO is going to die.
This was perfectly timed. If TLO either hides the mutas for 2 minutes longer or just, you know, has 2 more minutes, be a very different game. GG.
Congratulations. TLO will sadly fall, but Harstem will survive to fight one more day in the tournament, where he may just... It depends on who wins the second European group, because there'll be the second place finisher of that second European group that he'll have to play. And, I mean, the other European group is pretty stacked as well. I'm actually kind of scared for him, because you gotta consider, like, who even comes in second? A Laser, Nurchio, Euthermal, or Bunny? Not a single one of those 4 players are, I think, somebody you want to have to play against.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous, but congratulations to Harstem, as he will survive another day and play in that 4 best-of-5 series day. But ultimate congratulations go to Bly for making out first in the group. I cannot wait to unbox my new keyboard on stream, though, so we're going to go to a break. We'll do their Ting ads and get them out of the way. Mwah. So I can show you guys my new fancy keyboard from Corsair. So again, bttv.ting.com. For those who don't know what Ting is, it's a phone service sadly limited to the United States. But if you live in the United States, it may help you save some money. Please check out their website. Please learn more about them, because if you do sign up with Ting, not only may you save yourself a couple of bucks, you'll be helping us get another season of the Ting Open. We really want a season 3, guys. But, boop. Loading up Kyra's cutie patootie, and we'll see you guys in a few seconds. Alright guys, we're back, and that does wrap it up for the day. So, again, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching and all this good stuff. I'm really excited to unbox this, though. This is the brand new Corsair K70 keyboard with the rapid-fire switches. So first off, if you like Corsair Gear, obviously they sponsor us, and Zamria and I are spoiled with their wonderful gear. We use their headsets, the keyboards, their mice, you name it. I recently learned your guitar mouse is ambidextrous. I didn't know that, actually. So it's good for left and right hand users.
I thought that was most mice.
No, definitely not the one I've got. You're gonna have a bad time if you're left-handed.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Keys are only on one side that your thumb is not on. But
pinky control.
Anyways, I'm going to make my camera bigger while I do this. Do you want to just kind of go over, I guess, Corsair stuff, since we'll turn this into a Corsair sellout block real quick?
Okay, Corsair sellout real quick. So he unboxes that. Don't forget that it's not just the keyboard. We always talk about our headsets all the time, and it's just because a wireless headset, I mean, usually, like, I guess in the past, you know, like 10 years ago, they were pretty crappy. You know, they didn't really work that well. You had to be right next to your computer. Not really the case anymore. This is like really good audio quality. The mic is not that great, but if you're only using it to listen or if you're only using it to hang out with friends, then it's perfectly fine. And that's why we suggest it the most. Like a wireless headphone's actually super duper easy to work with.
It smells so fresh.
You and smelling it is what's really weird.
I don't know what is. I love new car smell. I love new keyboard smell. I love new everything smell. Shut up, car. I'm busy.
Yeah. Obviously, we just talked about the mice, and I guess that this is ambidextrous. But I think the real appeal is that my mouse is really small. His mouse actually has a bunch of extra buttons. So if you're like, if you actually do hotkey the extra buttons, then that's for you.
Here's my scimitar, just to show it off on screen real quick.
If you play like World of Warcraft and MMOs, I think it's actually a lot more useful. I like the simple stuff, and they have that as an option. So look into that. And then, of course, yeah, the keyboard, which is what you're going to be seeing now as he unboxes it. So this is going to be the new type of keyboard that they have that we got to test. I got to test like for like literally 30 seconds. He actually got to do on the video test it. So
this is cool. They put extra keys in here that are I can't. I'm not sure if they'll show up on camera.
Different colors? Or?
No, it's got different textures on it. Like the WASD keys, for example, feel very different than normal keys. They get like a rougher top. It's for that grip when you're APMing so fast you can't even hold on to the keyboard, you know? It's just so quick. No, but really, this is actually pretty cool. I like that.
Cool.
I mean, WASD, that's what you use when you're playing Overwatch, you're moving around. There's some other ones here. What are the other ones? FDERO, whatever, who cares? Almost spells Overwatch, actually, funny enough. Overwatch with an F.
Oof.
But yeah, these the switches on this keyboard are half the size of normal switches, so I mean, it's kind of hard to visually show you, but if you feel it, or maybe you could hear it, like, it's so quick. That's the point of the rapid fire aspect of it. Some of you guys might see this as marketing shilling. I don't really know. I don't really care. I love it. I can tell you that much. I genuinely loved it when I got to play with it at Austin. So, again, this is going to be the K70 Rapid Fire Switches is the one I'm using. And that's my unboxing. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, it smells so fresh and new and amazing. And I got to clean my room. It's so messy as I look at the camera. Oh, gosh. Don't look in my room. It's so messy. But anyways, that does wrap up the cast. So thank you, Zombie, for talking about Corsair for me while I did that. I'm really excited to plug this in and play with it, and all that good stuff. But today's tournament was brought to you by TING. As much as I want to do the sellout, it's like Christmas came early. I couldn't resist. Today's tournament was brought to you guys by TING. So thank you, TING, for making all of this possible and happen. We've got the wildcard group coming up tomorrow, as mentioned, with Wellmu, Petit Drogo, Sort of, and Solar. That should be really interesting. That'll be starting really early in the morning. So hopefully you guys will make sure to join us for it. Other sponsors include G2A, Chairs for Gaming, Yord, and of course, as we just talked about Corsair, if you scroll down on the Twitch page, you'll find all the relevant links and things to click. Make sure you type !clips if you haven't to look at what's going on with the giveaway. We want to give you guys Amazon gift cards. We want to give you guys Twitch turbo codes. We want to give away prizes. And last but not least, of course, is going to be the arcade block promotion. That ends in a few days, I think a week or so. So if you want a chance to win that really awesome Risk board, there's currently 11 people have entered in. 11 people have subscribed to Arcade Block, which is great because we were hoping for 5. That's awesome. But thank you guys so much for joining. See, some people in chat say smelling it, it's totally fine. It smells so good. It smells so good. Like, okay, when you smell kimchi and you get really excited, that's how I feel smelling this.
You can smell food and get excited because you're about to eat it. So, like, you know, like your saliva react and whatever, and you...
Salivary glands start going ham.
Yeah, okay? Like, what happens when you smell something you're not supposed to eat?
Shut up, man. Don't ruin this for me. Okay. Just playing. Thank you, Zombie Grub, as well, for joining me. As always, I have so much fun casting with you every day. Wouldn't do it with anyone else. Where can people find you if they want to find out more about you?
Find me on Twitter at TG Gaming, on Twitch, Zombie Grub, and YouTube, Zombie Grub. And
of course, for me, follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our YouTube for free, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV, and follow me on Twitter, Riff_Kings. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. We're going to go host somebody. I don't know who yet, but please give them our love. Spam them with some Ace 1s, Ace 2s in chat, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.